This quote right here, it frames our whole conversation. I mean, on the surface, it sounds kind of obvious, right? Of course, IT should support the business. But in the real world, this is where so many companies just completely fall down. The digital and IT teams get stuck in their own silo, the business starts seeing them as just a cost center instead of a value driver, and that gap just gets wider and wider. So we're going to break down exactly why that happens, and way more importantly, how you can fix it.
So, what really happens when your digital goals and your business goals aren't locked in step? Well, the cost isn't just a little inefficiency here and there. No, the fallout can become a serious, critical threat to your entire organization. Let's make this real. I want you to picture a big, established retail bank. They've been around forever, but suddenly they are on the back foot, getting absolutely hammered by these small, agile fintech startups. And the core of their problem? A totally siloed structure. Business leaders would cook up a strategy and then just, toss it over the wall to IT, expecting them to just execute without any real input. And this is where it gets really interesting, because these symptoms, they create a kind of death spiral. The bank was just pouring money into tech projects that weren't actually moving the needle on what mattered. And because IT was seen as just this cost center, they weren't invited to the important strategic conversations. That meant they couldn't flag new opportunities for innovation. And the result? Well, they got slower, less responsive, and just fell further and further behind. Okay, so that's the problem. It's a big one. But how do we actually solve it? Well, this brings us to the core of our explainer today, a really powerful but surprisingly simple framework that's designed to get everybody on the same page. For any leader out there trying to bridge that gap between business and IT, this is your key.
Now, here is the most crucial point to get about this. The Digital and IT Strategy Alignment Framework is not about creating another document to sit on a shelf. It's a thinking tool. It's designed to force the right conversations and make sure every single dollar spent on a digital initiative has a clear, straight line back to a core business goal.
So here's a look at how it works. It's broken down into these 4 quadrants. Up top, you've got the big picture stuff. Your business strategy, what are we actually trying to achieve here? And the IT strategy, how is technology going to help us do that? But the real magic happens in the bottom half. What organizational capabilities, things like skills, processes, do we actually need? And what IT capabilities, like specific software or infrastructure, are required to support them? For example, if your business strategy is to have the best customer service in the world, an organizational capability might be your 24/7 support team, and the IT capability, a killer CRM platform. True alignment happens when all 4 of these boxes are in perfect sync.
I absolutely love this quote, and it's because of one single word: accelerate. See, when it's aligned correctly, technology isn't just a support function. It's not a back-office utility you just pay the bills for. It becomes the engine that accelerates the entire corporate strategy, letting you move faster and smarter than everybody else.
Okay, so how do we take this from a nice framework on a slide to a real-world plan? Because let's be honest, having the tool is one thing, knowing how to actually use it is everything. This next section, this is your playbook for putting this into practice. The process is super logical, but you have to follow the sequence. You must start with the business strategy, period. Only after you've done that can you identify the critical capabilities you'll need to win. From there, you brainstorm how IT can enable all of that. And notice something really important here. Developing the actual digital strategy is the very last step, not the first. It's the output of this whole process. So what happened back at our struggling retail bank? A new CEO and CIO came in, and they implemented this exact process. They brought the business and IT leaders into the same room, they used this framework, and they focused on one key capability: customer relationship management. The result was a complete turnaround. The bank didn't just catch up, it actually started to leapfrog its fintech rivals.
So, how do you start this journey in your own organization? Well, it all starts by getting crystal clear on this first question. And here's a little test for you. If you can't get a consistent answer to this question from every leader in the room, you've just found your first massive red flag.
All right, once you know where you're going, the very next question is about how you're going to get there. And listen, this isn't about a long list of features or projects. It's about your core competencies. Do you need to be the absolute best at logistics, at customer data analysis, at rapid product development? Defining these is absolutely critical.
And this is it, the final, most powerful question that connects everything. This question forces technology to be discussed in the context of business value. It completely changes the conversation from, hey, we need a new CRM system, to, we need to build a world-class customer management capability, and a new CRM is how we're going to enable that. See the difference? It's huge. Now, just a quick word of caution. This framework isn't a silver bullet. There are common pitfalls. First, don't treat this as a one-and-done exercise. Your business is always changing, so this alignment work has to be continuous. Second, you have to involve all the key stakeholders. Otherwise, you're just creating a brand new silo. And finally, and this one's the biggie, do not underestimate the cultural change this requires. This is about rewiring how people think and work together.
All right, you've got the problem, you've got the framework, and you've got the playbook. So what can you do literally first thing Monday morning to start putting this into practice and really begin building your strategic influence?
Here it is. Your first step isn't some massive, scary workshop. It's a single 30-minute conversation. Find one key leader outside of your direct domain, someone in sales, marketing, operations, and just listen. Ask them this one question. You're not talking about tech, you're talking about their strategy. That single conversation, that is how you begin to break down the silos, build alliances, and transform your role from just being an executor into being a true strategic partner to the business.